Hi, welcome to Ukulele Tips. We're going to talk about how to play an ukulele chord, but more specifically we're going to talk about how to form the fingering for the ukulele chords that you're going to learn. Now, a lot of times when you are starting ukulele at a very basic level, you can pretty much get away with almost any way you want to hold your very first chord, which is usually a C chord. Now the normal way of holding your C chord might be with your third finger. However, some folks may make it with their second finger or their first finger, but my point is this. As long as you hold down that note down there on the third fret, first string, okay, it's going to sound nice, okay? I'm just kind of holding it down like that. It's after you learn your first chord C and you start making some other chords is when you run into some complications. For instance, when you start learning other chords, the biggest bad habit that folks do is they have a sloppy way of forming their fingers on the neck. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your fingers is always curved when forming the chord. I like to use the example of, you know, the golden archers for McDonald's, that big M that you see for McDonald's. You see it all the time. So you make your fingers the same way, they're curving over the strings. So for instance, I'm going to play an F chord, okay? An F chord. Now, when making an F chord, you want to make sure that your fingers are curved, okay? Now notice this. As I turn like this, you can pretty much see through the other side. So you can see the board behind me through the finger. You don't want to make your chord like this, okay, where you can't see across, because a lot of times when you're making a chord, and I'm using an F chord, and you're making it sloppily, you can only hear some of the strings. For instance, hear that in comparison to this, how clean and how nice the chords are, because the difference is that I'm arching, I'm curving my fingers over the strings so that they don't cover any other strings, okay? So you hear every single string, as opposed to making it sloppily and just having the fingers hang down and you only hear some of the strings. You want to hear all of the strings. So that's the biggest problem that you want to avoid. So make sure that your fingers are curved. For instance, when you're making a G chord, you want to make sure that they're curved, okay? You're curved over the string so that you can hear every single string, as opposed to making them like a little more relaxed and you're pressing down so you don't hear all the strings. So you want to make sure they're curved so that each string rings out. And that's the basic idea that you want to keep in mind as you're learning the different chords. Because if you don't have this idea of making the chords with a curved finger, what happens is that you just have to relearn it, re-practice it. Why not just get it right the first time, and then it's one less obstacle that you need to learn. Once again, for making your chords, after you learn your first chord C, hopefully you learn it by start arcing or curving your fingers a little bit. But like I said, with the C chord, you can get away with almost any way you want to hold it. Some folks hold it flatly like this. Sounds great. Once again, it's when you start to get into your other chords where you want to keep in mind to keep your fingers curved so you can hear every single string. Okay. Well, hope you enjoyed the ukulele tips. Be sure to check out more of our ukulele tips. You can go to our website, buenoukulelelessons.com. Check out some of our free lessons and more ukulele tips on how to get started with the ukulele and avoiding some bad habits and obstacles that might get in your way before you start getting into learning your ukulele. Hopefully, we'll catch you at the website.